Brad goes like this and goes yoink like this, and he's on the ground. How are my sales? How are my sales for Raw? What's going on here? What's good? We had.
Yo, Brad, you've been here for about 20 minutes now. Sneeko just landed punching you. He's a trained fighter.
Oh, what is up? It's your boy Johnny Shreve, IFBB Pro. This is Tell Like It Is. Today, guys, are going to analyze this sparring match with Sneeko and Bradley Martyn and why this is a bad video for Bradley Martyn. Let's get right into it. Okay, so there's a reason why this is a very bad video for Bradley Martyn, and for the simple fact that it exposes his fighting abilities. I'm going to say to you guys right now, all the UFC fighters that Brad Martyn said that he would actually beat if there was in a street fight, he would lose. He would lose very badly. I'm going to show you guys through this sparring match why Bradley Martyn would get his ass beat by all the guys he thinks that he would beat up. Let's get right into it. We have on one side Sneeko. Don't know how tall he is. I'm saying he's maybe, let's just say he's 5'10". Let's say he's 180 pounds. 5'9", 180. Bradley Martyn, 6 foot, 260. Bradley Martyn's, I would say his strengths and what he's been leaning on as to why he thinks or speculates that he would be able to beat all these UFC fighters is his size, his strength, and his natural athletic ability. And I've said it myself. When I saw this video, because I've never seen Bradley Martyn actually spar. But when I saw this video, I was like, oh, yeah. If that's the only thing he's leaning on, he's going to get his ass beat. So, let's start his fight right off. Right away.
Wait, back up so I get some range.
Right away. Bradley Martyn is a tall dude. Anybody knows, anybody who's tall like that has great reach and is going to be very smart about their jab, keeping space between him and the fighter or his opponent. Right away. So we have a thrown jab. We have a thrown jab by Sneeko. Where is Brad's hands at? Number one, if Brad's in the street, I don't care what happens, guys, if you're in the street, ring, or the octagon, if your hands aren't up, you get one in the face. You leave your hands up. If this is a trained fighter, Bradley Martyn's already taken one to the chin. And you see that right away. As soon as Brad starts going in, he's going in with his back foot, leading like this. Terrible. That's opening up crazy vulnerable spots to get punched in the face or being back like this, taken down by his opponent. Throws a couple punches. Again, he gets hit again by Sneeko. Remember, guys, this is a sparring match. If you guys seen trained fighters spar, they look like they do if they're in the ring. Their technique doesn't change. Their footwork doesn't change. Their head movement doesn't change. They're practicing what they're going to do in the ring just like a warm-up set. Just like a warm-up set is to you to practice going through the 4-range of motion, your technique, your breathing, the same thing it is with sparring. And when you're sparring, you're under control. Bradley is not under control. He's now let 2 punches by a very less athletic, smaller Sneeko. Hands down again, Sneeko goes in, covers his face. He actually gets a body shot. Bradley Martyn now is looking down, hands are down to punch him in his face. If this is an actual fighter, guess what happens in this scenario? Guess what really happens in this scenario? Watch. So Sneeko's there, right? We have that jab, we have that body shot. Brad's hands are down. Guess what happens now? You do body shot, hands down, then you follow with the overhand right. There you go. There's one scenario. Second scenario, you go body shot, he puts his hands down. Guess where he's at? He's in takedown position. Then you take Brad down, he's on the back. The trained fighter now has all the control because these trained fighters are UFC fighters, meaning they have good jiu-jitsu or wrestling and hands and some feet. But regardless, if this match goes on the ground outside on the pavement, right now Brad's on the ground. These are 3 times already Brad's been open and exposed as to why he's actually not that good of a fighter. Now we have a punch down here, right? Sneeko's left open. Sneeko's like, oh shoot, I'm done. He's in panic mode. And now Brad's throwing these really slow punches, right? Bradley doesn't know how to control his punches. He's not, you can tell how untrained he is. I'm not saying I'm a trained fighter. Being a trained fighter means that this is in your regular schedule. you're going to your boxing club, UFC club, jiu-jitsu, whatever, you're going on a regular basis. You're going on a week to week, maybe a couple times a week, and you probably might have some sparring matches, some fights down the road. That's what makes you a trained fighter. If you go to an exercise class, you're not a trained fighter. If you go once in a while to a boxing class, you are not a trained fighter. This is not a trained fighter, and he's exposing himself to show that he is not a trained fighter. And we know he's not a trained fighter. But guess what? He's making statements, bold claims that he's gonna beat up trained fighters, and he can't handle Sneako in a sparring match. And you can tell by this that Brad's getting a little frustrated, so now he has to now turn up a notch. And all Brad needs to do to show that he has some type of, fighting IQ is to use his big ass reach and sit back and just throw some jabs, keep him away, boom, keep him away, put it back, keep it. That's all you gotta do this entire time. Let Sneako do whatever, all of a sudden, bat, just literally nothing much. We're watching Brad at his best. Sorry. Because if you can't do it at a slow pace, you're not gonna do it at a fast pace. Right? You play like you practice like you play. Right? Hands are down again. Sneako does a little bit of this. Sneako is not a threat. Sneako's far away. Sneako has a smaller, shorter reach. And Sneako is getting Brad to lower his hands when he's not in the distance. Brad can't see a threat. He can't see a proper threat from the proper distance. So any real trained fighter is gonna play and toy with him all day. Is gonna just make him move. Look at this. Someone that's trained and he sits there and blocks that straight. What happens next after that? Where's Brad's other hand at? Brad's hand's down. Brad's doing this. This is where Brad is at right now. He's here. Hands are down. Sneako's kind of blocked that. But because Sneako's not a trained fighter, Sneako's not in a good position. But guess what? If you look right now, Sneako's hand is like this. So if Sneako is an actual trained fighter, guess what happens? Brad goes like this, Sneako does this, Sneako goes bop like this, Brad goes like this and goes yoink like this, and he's on the ground. How are my sales? How are my sales for Raw? What's going on here? Hey, what's good? We had...
Yo, Brad, you've been here for about 20 minutes now. Sneako just landed a punch on you. He's a trained fighter.
Oh, yeah. All right. And guys, this is why Brad is not a good fighter. Look at him. He just did his 1-2, and he's completely square. If this is a trained fighter, if this is one of the guys that Brad said he's gonna knock out, guess where Brad's at right now in the street, or even his gym? He's on the ground. Look at him. Do you see that? Did you see his stumble? Let me show you. Let me show you again. He punched Sneako and he's stumbling back. No footwork. Guys, you can't knock anyone out if you don't have good footwork. You can't take someone down if you don't have good footwork. You can't defend yourself from being taken down if you don't have good footwork. I say in my videos when I'm teaching technique, because I'm a strength and conditioning coach, I say floor to core always, because that is the most consistent thing in every single sport. Floor to core. If your footwork sucks, your base sucks, the rest of everything's gonna suck. It doesn't matter how good you can move your head. You can do this all you want. You can do this all you want, move your hands and flash your hands. But if you can't move your feet, you're getting taken down, you're getting knocked out, and you're not knocking anybody out. In my opinion, that should have been the story from the start. Now let's just go back to this. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to that knockout. All right, here we go. Stumbles back. He's already off his feet. He's moving around. He's off his foot. Bradley has him underneath his glove, and then punches him in the back of the head while Sneako's already off his balance and on the way to the ground. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. He's up. Watch again. Look at his feet. Look at his feet. Flat. Guys, flat. He is flat-footed. Brad is flat-footed. Again, Sneeko, you can see tendencies. Anyone, if any fighter was doing a little bit of film study on Brad, they're like,
hey man, Brad flinches at everything.
you throw a jab and Brad is flinching all the way back. He's flinching back. You don't flinch, you parry. What do you, someone throws a jab, here. You don't, someone throws a jab, you block. You don't get jabbed and do this. I mean, you can, but you're doing that with your feet. You're not just doing this. You're not just doing this. This is one of those like blow up dolls you just punch it and boom, comes back, boom, comes back, yoink. Look, tries to pull his hand down off his foot. No power in that back leg. No power punch. Again, I'm gonna say this a billion times. If this is an actual trained fighter, Sneeko is not getting knocked out. Sneeko's actually taking him down because guess what? His foot is off the ground. Look, these are terrible throws. Terrible throws. Nope. 2. There you go. Let's just call it like this, ladies and gents. If Bradley Martyn actually gets a chance to fight anybody, he's gonna get his ass kicked. And I'm pretty sure that he's just talking about, hey, I'm gonna go fight Logan Paul? Any of the Paul brothers? You can't, do you remember when Logan was like, you come down, one of the Pauls, I forget which one, whatever. One of the Pauls, come down and spar with me. Do you understand, guys, now? I'm pretty sure you guys do, but those who may be on the fence be like, I don't know, Bradley Martyn's 260, he's jacked, he's an athlete, he might be able to hold himself down. No, he will not. You know why? Because this video exposed Bradley as an actual fighter. I ain't picking fights, I ain't saying shit, but I will tell you right now, if that was me, that ain't happening. Because I can see a lot of the things that he's doing wrong. And that's me. But God forbid he goes into an actual ring and spars with one of the Paul brothers? You know why none of those guys were like, yeah, let's do it? Is because trained fighters probably just heard it all the time. They probably, predicted this is what it is. I'm sorry. And I just might end up getting barred from zoo culture, but hey, I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm gonna tell it like it is, y'all. I'm sorry. Bradley Martyn has no business talking about fighting anybody, let alone sparring Sneeko. And that is my opinion, and that is it for this, and that is it for that. Bradley Martyn, sorry. All those claims, we can speculate truly now that you would definitely not succeed fighting any of the people I think Bryce Hall would actually beat Bradley Martyn. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Any of you guys are fighters, any of you ladies and gents that are fighters, trained fighters, you like fighting, fans, let's start this conversation in the comment section below. Let's talk, let's analyze a little more. Anyway, guys, until next time, you guys know what it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. Meantime, keep dream chasing.